your business in Lagos, situated in Lagos, from 0 to 100. If you believe, you can connect with us right now. This program is brought to you courtesy the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund. The state agency saddled with the responsibility of holding your hand through the journey, being whether a small scale or medium scale or a large scale business owner in Lagos. Once again, good morning and welcome. On today's edition of the program, we shall be talking job market trends and the future of jobs. In this era, you would agree with me that things has actually really changed. Okay, so it's no longer the usual trend of graduating from school and then you're moving around with your CV, looking for a job, pitching your tent, talking to an uncle or talking to an old friend on how to get a job. Before you even graduate from school, you can start considering what you want to do for yourself. And you know what they say about the largest employer of labor? Basically, entrepreneurs are the largest employers of labor. My guest is Mujib Moreno. He's a strategy officer at the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund, and together we shall be, demystifying some of those things that appears as a challenge or you do not understand about the job market trends and the future of jobs. Good morning to you, Mujib.
Good morning, Taiwo.
How are you today?
I'm doing good.
The last time we saw, I should think that was last year. Was it last year or 2 years ago?
I think 2 years ago we were
2
discussed.
years. Wow. It's good to have you again on the program.
Yeah,
So let's get down to business. Let's begin with a broad view of what is the biggest shift that is happening in the job market, particularly in Nigeria. We all know that there is so much going on in that area. But then, as a professional, can you walk us through some of these things?
All right, thank you very much. It's nice to join you on this platform again today to discuss the job market and the trends. When we talk about the job market and the trends currently, it's important to actually set the context from the global terrain before we bring it home, because we understand the fact that in Nigeria, we do not supply talent to our local market alone. We also supply talent, to global organizations across different sectors in that regard. So the major things that have been shaping the job market over the past 3-4 years have been the technological disruptions caused by artificial intelligence, for instance. We've been having green transitions. We have organizations that are more or less talking more about mitigating their climate change impact. We've been having conversations surrounding economic uncertainties that are created by different geopolitical developments across the globe in that regard. So bringing it home now, we talk about issues related to technological disruptions and digital penetration in Nigeria. For instance, the level at which people actually adopt and use technology in the past 5 years have significantly changed. So that is actually impacting business operations across different sectors. And we also talk about the fact that different organizations in Nigeria are actually transitioning to green energy in that regard, and the search for talent continues in that regard. We also have consideration for economic uncertainties. We have rising cost of living. For instance, we talk about the fact that inflation rose from 24.7 in 2023 to 33.2 in 2024. So that's a consideration that businesses, they keep having as far as their business strategy and talent hunting and talent management plan is concerned.
All right, then let's look at some of the skills that are high in demand today and which ones are likely to remain relevant over the next 5 to 10 years.
So I'd like to address this from two angles because just recently, I think as early as was it January this year, the World Economic Forum published gradual shift towards that based on the nature of our economy. For instance, large enterprises, they are actually moving at a higher pace compared to other organizations in that regard. So you can't find some roles like clerks. You can find them in those large enterprises again. So if someone was employed as a clerk at a large enterprise, say 10 years ago, the person definitely would be out of job right now and probably seeking employment elsewhere. So what would be important for people in roles like that is to ensure that they engage in what I call the skill audit.
Okay.
It's important to actually diagnose what your baseline is, your starting point is, to know what are the skills you actually have and
Yes.
what the current reality of the job market is based on your own career plan. So, for instance, you are big on administrative related roles. For instance, you've worked as a clerk, you've worked as an administrative assistant, but AI is here to even say that you can actually get a lot of things done without having to need a clerk to get those things done. So it's more about building your technological literacy skill so that you can position yourself to adapt to changes in that regard, so that you have that human touch to the job. Of course, we can't neglect the fact that that is a critical component of how we do what we do in the current reality. But the idea of upskilling is very important based on the fact that you've been able to identify your baseline. Go for the necessary training you need to go for, and you're positioning yourself strategically in that regard.
As individuals consider upskilling and, trying to upgrade themselves to keep up with the work trend, LSCTF as an agency saddled with the responsibility of reducing unemployment, right? What is the agency doing to match the energy of those upskilling so we don't have too many people, on the street looking for jobs after upskilling?
Thank you very much for that very vital question. So it's important that we have organizations from the government side and the non-government side that's actually responding to the realities of the changes in the job market. And one critical thing that LSCTF does effortlessly is to ensure that we have programs that are market-driven. So when I say market-driven, it's from the idea that the belief and understanding that what was relevant to the market a few years ago might not be relevant today. So by the time, at the point of developing our initiatives, our programs, for instance, our employability programs, our tech skill related programs, we engage industry players towards developing, curriculum, towards identifying the skills that actually we need to train our talent in so that we can have them in supply for the market in that regard. So that's one thing we do strategically in partnership with different international organizations and even local players accordingly. And you can find that through different offerings we have as part of our employability programs, for instance. And we have Lagos Innovate talent development program, for instance. We have training in data science, cybersecurity, and things like that. And I can tell you for a fact that network and cybersecurity skills, that's one of the fastest growing roles or skills in demands globally and even locally at this point, because with increasing digital penetration and automation comes the concerns about ensuring that your digital infrastructures are not vulnerable to cyber attacks in that regard. So network and cybersecurity skills, critical up there. And we have one of our trainings that's actually that is focused on offering talent training in that regard.
Data analysis, cybersecurity, those are some of the things that we now get to hear of and that people are tapping into. Can you tell me some of the jobs that we do in this part of the world you think in the next 5 to 10 years might not necessarily be lucrative or even, exist?
So the other time I mentioned something about some
administrative
administrative roles,
staff.
yes, clerical staff, and all that. And I also set the context by stating the fact that we have a large number of micro and small enterprises in this economy. So the pace at which the change happens will definitely be gradual compared to how it happens at the large enterprise level in that regard. So we talk about different roles like administrative assistants, cashier, bank teller, for instance. So we've been having shifts here and there across the globe. In those terms, we have clerks, as I mentioned earlier. We also have cashiers, yes, and those ones. So these roles, they would continue to decline in terms of demand. However, it's important that we keep up with the realities of the market and ensure that we reskill, upskill, and plan our career strategically so that we don't get out of shape according to the demand.
All right, then, Lagos. You're listening to Accelerate Lagos here on Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. Sorry, I mean, the Lagos keeps coming in. After all, it is all about Lagos. All right, then, the program is Accelerate Lagos, like I mentioned earlier, and today we are discussing job market trends and the future of jobs. You might be wondering who I have been speaking with. Mujib Moreno is my guest. He is a strategy officer at LSCTF. Let's quickly talk traffic within the metropolis at this time. The earlier reported impediment, that's at Jakonde Gate in Word Randok Ukiafa, has been successfully evacuated. So if you're going towards that direction, you really have nothing to worry about. Feel free to use that area, but please be patient navigating. From Ina Marina, there is an event at the cathedral, and so traffic has been quite busy around the cathedral and Kakawa. Immediately after the cathedral church in Woodnightle, you have better movement. And also, there is a loaded truck with deflated tire while ascending Trade Fair Bridge. A vulcanizer has been contacted to get it fixed and cleared off the road. Okay, that has been cleared. Thank you so much, Alabi, for that update. All right, moving on now. Mujib, let's take a look at individuals ready to embrace continuous learning and upskilling. How do they even start?
Yeah, thank you for that great question. I think the primary starting point for individuals that want to, improve themselves as far as upskilling is concerned is to establish their baseline, as I mentioned the other time, and that can be done individually by just engaging in self-reflection to actually know what your skills are, or even engage the services of consultants. We have people that you can go to have that conversation, career counselor and all that. So they help you to actually understand your starting point, so you know what the situation is as far as your skill level is concerned. And also you need to be realistic about what your career plan is. What do you plan to transition to a different role, or you intend to continue on your current role in that regard, so that you can know whether you need to take on new skills, or you need to reskill or upskill accordingly. So that skill audit is particularly important. So after the skill audit, of course, the next step would be to identify the suitable training institution. For some skills, you might need to go back to school. For some, you might need just to enroll in some certification here and there. Sure. For some, it might be you need some online courses actually. So it's about understanding what the situation is and taking action accordingly. So after that, it's to engage in some roles that would give you the learning experience. We have some opportunities that exist in the current market about these virtual roles, where you can acquire some experience in that regard. So you can easily refer to them as hands-on experience when you are positioning yourself to seek opportunities going forward.
All right, then. All of these things you have mentioned now, these are more or less, opportunities you can get from the internet. Where does LSCTF come in all of these?
So we usually have different sessions to ensure that we are inclusive in our approach. We understand the fact that we don't have 100% of the population of Lagos having the digital assets, and we take our programs to the grassroots people at the bottom of the pyramid through different grassroots engagement sessions. So we have different sessions organized by our employability unit related to career fair, job fairs, and all that. We also have sessions that our communications and promotions unit actually push here and there, so that we have information available to different people at different strata of the society in that regard. So a combination of physical engagement at grassroots and the ease of reaching us, or even listening to our programs through radio services, just as we are having now. We even have other media appearances and other. So it enables us to ensure that we cater to different demographics accordingly. So our grassroots engagements where we provide details to different stakeholders at the grassroots, talking about job seekers, talking about even entrepreneurs. It's affords us the opportunity to tell them about the realities about the changing job market in that regard.
Okay, so you had mentioned earlier that those who want to upskill or basically those who need to secure another job would need a bit of tutelage, right? You would need someone to talk to really identify their area of strength. Nothing is free, even in Freetown, right? But with LSCTF, there are some programs that you have that you tell people this is totally free or it is subsidized. Do you provide services such as counseling or advice, or even helping people to identify their area of strength?
Yes, absolutely, we do. Of course, it's important to mention that LSCTF was, established with the mandate of enabling job and wealth creation, and that, indirectly leads to tackling the issue of unemployment. Exactly. So, through different engagements we have with different organizations, for instance, our business support unit, they've been playing a critical role in that regard. So where we hold career, counseling sessions for job seekers. They would, any job seekers could actually walk in for free and get, career counseling service through, services through services of some of our third parties, stakeholders that we usually engage to actually provide these services to job seekers. So we have programs that would enable them to review, get free access to CV review and career advice, so that they can position themselves strategically in that regard. And even beyond that, after identifying these career needs, we've had partnerships that we implemented, such that after recommending training programs for job seekers, we go ahead to actually direct them to some of our trainings that are open for free, of course, 100% for free, after which they get placement opportunities in that regard. So we've had, success stories from that angle, where, job seekers, they got some career counseling services and they've been able to get employment in that regard.
Tell me what LSCTF is doing about those who are not really, educated till, who do not have degree, right? Those at the bottom of the pyramid that perhaps have just a SSC or even primary school leaving certificate. They are still part of the society. What are we doing about, their employability status?
So, one critical thing we've discovered through different analysis we did, I think it's important at this point to mention the fact that we have a system called Lagos State Labor Market Information System, where we were able to generate data on, insights on the labor market in Lagos State. And through that, we actually discovered that we have different demographics that have different barriers to the job market. And some of them fall into the category you mentioned, the fact that some of them, they only had first school leaving certificate, some just secondary school certificates and all that, and that actually can be a disadvantage.
Sure.
However, what we do as a fund, LSCTF, is the fact that we look at different demographics of society, and we have offering for each group through, for instance, our employability training, employability support training program. And what we do through our employability support program is we identify the skill gaps in the market. We identify service provider, training institutions that are ready to, provide training services to talents in this regard, and ensure that we have these opportunities filled by people of this category. Talking about people that have their secondary school living certificates, for instance, SSC, in that regard, and where necessary, we usually direct some that are qualified for other training, TVET training program to suitable organizations that would meet their need in that regard. For instance, we have the LASVEB, that's a Lagos State Vocational Education Training Board. They provide training program for the people across the board, complementing what we do at LSCTF as well. So this holistic approach enables us to ensure that no one is left behind, whether those that are looking for tech skills through our Lagos Innovate unit, and those that want to focus on TVET trainings, that's talking about employability support program in that regard. So we are able to have that comprehensive approach to cover people from different demographics and different educational background accordingly.
How will Lagosians tapping into this vocational training? Because as much as we have a lot of people on the internet, gunning for the blue chip jobs, right? Tell me about the vocational skills. How will Lagosians tapping into this opportunity?
So interestingly, since inception, we've trained over 20,000 youth in vocational training skills, right? And you're right. One major thing we've identified over the years, even through different conversations we've had with stakeholders across other states and all that, is the fact that we still have a lot of people that have these different views or lowly view of vocational training, exactly, resentment for vocational training, vocational skills, and they think it's all about suit and tie. 100%, and that is not the case. We even have people that actually have vocational training skills that are earning more than some of your corporate bodies that are wearing suit and tie. So it's important that we have that change in mindset, so that more people, we can take people off the streets and get them engaged in vocational skills. And I can tell you for a fact that the fact that LSCTF continues to bring this opportunity to the doorstep of Lagosians makes it much easier for the adoption of some of these skills. And we partner strategic organizations, for instance, GIZ, KTI, that's King's Trucks International, to actually engage our youth in vocational skills, because most of these skills are in demand. We have people that keep saying that no, they don't want to go into AC repairs, for instance. They don't want to look into some skills related to waste management and all that. But these are skills that continue to remain relevant as of today. And if nobody is taking up those skills, I can tell you that the cost of acquiring services in those skills would continue to grow higher, because so that means we have high demand
foreign
and low supply. Exactly. And we even have some talents that they have been attracted globally now, because
talent soldiers.
So for instance, we have demand for plumbers in some countries. For instance, we've had a report from Canada, from US, and even US just recently started stepping back, rolling back some policies related to immigration, because they know that there are some jobs that majority that are involved in those roles, they are immigrants.
Let's take this call. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. You're on Lagos Traffic Radio. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello?
All right, you can put your call through again when you perhaps gather your thought. All right, then it's the home stretch for us on the program this morning. But quickly, tell me about, what, aside supporting job seekers, what else does LSCTF do? I mean, in supporting entrepreneurs, what current initiative do you have available for small business owners scale and sustain their ventures?
Thank you for that question. So primarily, we are out to support job seekers and entrepreneurs primarily, and even employers At that, of course, the players are part of entrepreneurs, and we have different opportunities that are open. Currently, our loan program is still ongoing, so you can, access our loan program, which is currently open. We also have business support program. We have a masterclass sessions that are held, at intervals where entrepreneurs get to learn more about how to run their business more efficiently and scale accordingly. We also have our MSME Bootcamp program. It's more like an incubation program where we give entrepreneurs that are not so formalized opportunity to actually get that knowledge and understanding about how to put more structure in place for their business and get them to be fund ready, because we keep hearing here and there that businesses, they don't have access to finance, but the question is, are you access to finance ready in that regard? So
how do you mean when you say access to finance ready?
So we have take for instance, we have some micro and small enterprises that they don't even keep records, financial records of their business. They don't monitor inflow and outflow of their business. They don't even track their inventory. And if you want to access funding from different organizations, one of those things they would ask is your statement of account, for instance, or even if you have any form of record to keep track of your business transaction over the years. And some of them don't even understand the fact that taking loans here and there and not paying them actually puts you at a disadvantage. So they feel that the fact that you've taken one loan opportunity and you refuse to pay, it means that's gone. But it's not gone, because it goes straight to your credit history. So knowledge about things like this actually helps us to help businesses put the needed structure in place so that they can position themselves to access opportunities and scale, create more jobs in that regard.
All right, then. Are there resources from LSCTF that explore the subject of the future jobs, and where can listeners have access to them?
Yeah, so we had a publication that we did recently on our website. So by going straight to our website, lsctf.ng, and click under the report session, you would have access to a lot of resources that we've published related to the job market, even beyond the future of jobs in that regard. So that enables you to access different publications accordingly. And it's also important to mention that we have the LSCTF Academy that is talking about our soft skills learning platform that you can access that through elearning.lsctf.ng. So through that you can acquire some soft skills that can position you to be better prepared for your next role in that regard.
All right, then what will be your advice to business owners in Lagos as we wrap it up on the show?
My advice to business owners in Lagos is to ensure that they stay updated about market trends so that they can adapt their business strategies to prevailing market conditions, and also provide opportunities to upskill and reskill their workforce so that they don't need to start thinking about changing their workforce every now and then, because with a continuous change in workforce means you lose organizational culture bit by bit, and that value that you've actually created from the get-go might be lost in that regard. So
in the process,
by helping your talents, you're actually helping yourself in that regard. And LSTF remains in the business of supporting entrepreneurs and job seekers in Lagos. You can follow us across our platforms and stay updated about some different offerings we have at LSCTF.
All right, then. I must say a very big thank you to you, Mujib Raino, Strategy Officer at LSCTF. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
It's a pleasure.
Today on Accelerate Lagos, we have discussed job market trends and the future of jobs. The future actually belongs to those who learn more skills and combine them in creative ways. So do not be left behind. Do not belong to those saying that, oh, I cannot learn plumbing, I cannot learn this, I cannot learn that. It will shock you. You know, one thing, Cobhams once sang the song One Hit, right? When he sang One Hit, he did not sing One Hit because he was just sitting somewhere, just thinking or still considering if he should go into music. He knew what he wanted already. He had the idea of this song already. And so, look at it today. After One Hit, he's had loads of hits. This is where we wrap it up on today's edition of Accelerate Lagos. This program has been brought to you by the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund. Massive thanks to the social media team, Opoyemi Shodoke, and especially Oluremi Aluko. Big thanks to Victor Terry. Our executive producer is Taiwo Baruwa. I remain Taiwo Baruwa. The program makes a return next week, Wednesday, at 10:15. Enjoy the rest of your day, Lagos.
Dear Lord, help my destiny.